Alright guys, final video until I get some sleep, and then after that I gotta do more videos a little bit later. But it's 1:51 in the morning West Coast time. It's still the 19th of December 2024. I came across a news article on YouTube regarding a health plan, or actually a medical group trying to stiff their members. The system that they have out in Colorado, the United Health. I can't even talk right this morning. Can't even talk. And there goes my mama dog again. She's out. As long as I'm up, she's fussing. I can't even go back to sleep without her fussing. University of Colorado Hospital and the University of Colorado Health Organization. This is a health system that's a provider that had been balancing billing people left and right. Now, it's normal hospital procedures, but if they actually had the bills paid, why are they doing a second time charging on these people left and right? I'll see if I can get the information hooked up into my videos for you guys to research this, because this got my head. This being a member of an insurance company a long time ago got me thinking about a lot of things. And one of yeah, she's gonna fuss. She must be obeyed. If you're gonna walk, get walking over here. She must be obeyed. I gotta embarrass the crap out of her. Coming! Coming, Mama! You're being a pain in the ass. You know that? Next time I record, it's just going to be me and the Wi-Fi. All right, Mama. I've been trying to keep track of some of this stuff. When I hear stories about it, I wanted to talk about it in a great detail of what I know about it. Now, I don't know, somewhere down the line, there may have been paperwork called a non-disclosure form. I may or may not have signed it. I don't know. It was talking about the company's own practices and stuff. But I thought this was general insurance information about how PPOs and HMOs were generated. Unless, of course, each policy, or actually each company, has a way of administering the policies one way or another. So I kept trying to talk about how PPOs and HMOs worked. Now, 2.5 decades ago, I learned a lot. And I wasn't quite sure how they affected people left and right until I actually saw how they affected people left and right. Personally, and from family history, not to mention other people. And I discovered that the health insurance company really doesn't give a shit. They only care about the profits. But if they actually cared about their members, then why would they actually have haggle over the money that the providers wanted to get more? You know, should have had better contract managers or better contracts with the providers. Doctors and hospitals changing uh, whether foundations are going to be belonging to or not, or if they're going to be covering one insurance company or another insurance company. The story that I was running into was a healthcare system suing patients daily in order to get funding from them, in order to pay for their systems and stuff. Now, come on, I'm going to put you down. You're going to whine like crazy. I'll be in there in a minute. We actually had trauma centers operating like crazy. We had hospitals operating even better. We had a lot of them out there in Southern California, but some of them had to dry up because funding wasn't coming in. Members were not able to pay as much, or indigent, homeless, members not, or actually people who are not members of any insurance group couldn't pay the bills. And so sometimes there were closure of clinics, there was doctors moving or shifting around, hospitals shutting down, bought out by different corporations, and policies would change. Um, Balance bill a patient like crazy, saying that they owe X amount of dollars. If they didn't have the insurance, that patient is going to have to pay, and it sucked. It sucked. LA County had decided to whitewash a lot of bills for this year and next year. They're not requiring the patients to pay. From a special grant, they had funding built up to where, up to that grant limit, not per person, but in general, they could try paying as much claims as they can for members in hospitals and facility charges and professional services. All the way up in LA County. But after that, members are on their own, or the patients are on their own. But having a hospital going after you like that, I would have to look at the damn bill myself. I would have to look at the explanation of benefits. I would have to look at my member's responsibility if I'm belonging to an insurance company. I would have to look at the hospital's billing policies. I would have to talk to the hospital billers about this one to see what they're talking about. If my insurance company, if I had belonged to an insurance company, and I had gone to a healthcare system that said I owed, I would have to look thoroughly. Not many people can do that because it's a nightmare looking at it. I'd taken a class of medical terminology just to understand how to be a transcriber, and I couldn't stand being a transcriber. But I took a class about medical billing and coding. Okay, I figured that one out, no problem. Then I got into the company through a temp agency, and I worked for a Blue for about several years until. But I looked at a lot of PPO claims. I looked at HMO claims for the members, but there was nothing about the indigent. There was nothing about homeless. If I had worked at a hospital, that would have been a different story altogether, because then I would be able to see it through their eyes. Or if I had been a biller in a doctor's office, I would see what I was looking at. I would have a different perspective at that point. I only have a perspective of an insurance company looking at the claims. It still gets to me because we're still in that kind of stage where you could be free of the claim you thought you paid, and then they come back and bite you in the ass. Either through the creditors, through credit rating, or just trying to put you in court. They don't want to put people in court. They just want to take the money out of you. Because in court, you would have to prove if you had paid the bill or made efforts to pay the bill. Regardless if it's a doctor or an x-ray technician or the facility doing an x-ray or even a hospital. If you actually had a claim against you, but you had bank records saying that you already paid this thing off, or you're still making payments of it, trying to making good faith, I think the courts would have been lenient on that point, and would also look at your financial records, what you've been getting in. They would have to make the financial determinations at that point by looking at the good faith. And it'll be up to the hospital to decide that you're a bad risk. It'll be the creditors. But they don't want to do that, do they? That's why I have to keep on top of some of this stuff. Because eventually it's going to be biting me in the ass one of these here days. I might not be with a medical group that I am with right now. And I may be into another group that, for whatever reason, and I may get stuck in a situation. If I didn't have the medical insurance information I have long ago, hopefully it's helping me out right now, I wouldn't be able to navigate my way on how to get through this mess. But that's the thing that was the thing I was watching on YouTube about this. It's from 9 News from Colorado. It's an NBC station, and the article was called "Debt in the Dark: UC Health Sues Patients Daily," and some have no idea why. This was just published today. Now, as soon as I get some sleep, I'm going to get this information put on my video here in the description, and I'll send it out. Because this is important, guys. This is important that this stuff will be coming up and biting you in the ass. I had a situation happen years ago when my brother and I went over to Disneyland to celebrate a New Year's. And I think it was the last time we actually been there, or the time before that, because I remember having an argument and a fight with Ma for how much money we spent. Well, it gets expensive even back then, years ago, over 20 years ago. It was still expensive as hell. But still, it was fun. Cord, I gotta get picked up. I know, Mama. Dog. A dog is driving me crazy. Dave and I went on a ride of Star Tours. He was already having back and knee issues as it is during those days. He was getting around on a scooter, and we went into Star Tours, and we did the ramp, got in there, got into the ride. What they didn't have going at that point was enough cushion. My brother was tousled a lot worse. Disney saw it. They had medical professionals look at my brother at the park. They took him by ambulance over to the local community hospital. They looked at my brother. They got his insurance. Talked to him about his knee, about his back. Those things were taken care of. We got a ride back to Disneyland, courtesy of Disney, and we enjoyed the rest of our time when we celebrated New Year's and came back home. About a month later, we received an ambulance charge bill and a hospital bill. I looked at the stuff and I'm saying, no way. Then I asked my brother about the policy, and he showed me, and I looked at it. I'm like, okay, no, we're going to deal with this. This was an out-of-area emergency. You have an HMO. This is the copay. This is what we deal with. The insurance company is supposed to deal with it. How come they're denying it? Oh, no. So I had to deal with member services myself and talk to them about it. Wrote up a letter, sent it over to the providers. That was it. I knew some of the details, what I needed to do in order to take care of it. HMOs are simple. PPO are a pain in the ass. Speaking of a pain in the ass, I got to take care of her. She must be obeyed. So if you guys don't mind, I will do the loading of the videos a little bit later tonight, or actually a little bit later today. I got to take care of She must be obeyed before she puts me into a nut hold or something like that, or whatever I'm going to be calling it. Help!